Hello, fellow Earthlings. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on planet Earth. I'm still here. I did actually check this morning. Yeah, my channel's still there. I said a really funny parody this morning of Meghan and Harry. I can't remember the guy's channel, but it's a fella who he impersonates both of them and he interviews them. That was quite amusing. I haven't listened to Meghan's podcast. But I have heard that she claims that when they were on the South Africa tour, that they were out speaking on an engagement. I'll sit down here a bit because of the wind. Oh, the lovely wind. I used to hate the wind. It's my best friend now. Yeah, she claims that her and Harry were out giving a speech and she was standing on a tree stump, and unbeknown to her, little Archie's room had caught fire from a heater. Okay, but luckily he wasn't even in the room. His nanny had decided to take him down so she could get a snack, and that the heater had caught fire to the room and there were no smoke detectors, and she called it a complex. I did hear a little snippet of it because I was listening to Meghan Kelly and Dan Wootton tearing it to pieces this morning, and I totally agree with them. I mean, firstly, I don't believe this story at all. I don't believe it. And then when she'd finished her engagement, they said to her, oh, Archie's room caught fire, and she was like, oh my God, I need to go and recover. And that the evil palace machine forced her and Harry to continue with their engagements. Well, that to me made me particularly bloody angry. Firstly, I think it's a lie. I don't believe it. And the reason I don't believe it is she never said a word about this before. As Dan Wootton said, there were hundreds of journalists there. No one heard about this, and they would have heard about it. She would have said something on Oprah. She never said anything on Oprah about this. This is all news. To me, this is trying to pull a sympathy card. You know, stop picking on me. You don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Well, bullshit. So I'm going to tell you guys a story of what happened to us as a family with this house. And it was horrifying, and it was a fire. Luckily, not the house itself, but we didn't know that at the time. Well, Graham and I were out at sea on the dolphin boat, and we can see our house from sea. And it was about 4 years ago. Benji would have been 14, I think, and he was home alone in the house, and I had the Jennifer camera, and I'd said to him, you get on with your homework and stuff. It was sort of all around that time. And I got a phone call from a lady, English lady, who lives up the road. Absolutely spectacular lady. I love her and her family. And I hadn't spoken to this girl in about 4 or 5 years because, you know, you lose track with people. She's doing her thing, we're doing ours. She phoned me up on the dolphin boat while Graham and I were at sea, and she said, Fiona, is there anyone inside your house because it's on fire? And I went, oh my God. And Graham and I looked towards the house from sea. We were about 2 miles out. And sure enough, there was an enormous plume of smoke coming from the direction of our house. And I said to her, oh my God, Benji's in the house. He's home alone. And he's under orders not to let anybody in the house. So she said, I'm outside the house now. I'm knocking on the door, but he might not remember me from when he was little. I said, I'm going to phone him now. I phoned him up and he said, Mum, I think the house is on fire. He said it was actually the back field behind, and it was inferno. And he came upstairs. He was on the phone to me. I said, just have a look around. Can you see it's anywhere in the house? And this lady, she's going to come and knock the door with her little girl, and you go with her. Lock the house up and just go with her, and you're going to stay at her house until we get home. I mean, we felt utterly helpless being at sea. And then we had passengers and we're watching dolphins, and we can't just drop everything. And it's probably one of the most horrifying moments as a mother. But he came upstairs and he looked and he said, I can hear like crackling, like a million typists thumping away on typewriters. And he looked out and he said, oh God, the flames are higher than... They were like as high as the house and the double. And the fire brigade here, amazing, and the neighbours, they called them in. Someone had deliberately set a fire in the backfield. And to this day, Graham and I both feel we know who did it, and it was on purpose, and they did know Benji was home alone. Those are the kind of psychopaths we've been having to put up with round here. Thankfully, Apparently they're going away soon, and not a moment too soon, as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, this lovely lady, she took Ben up to her apartment and gave him fish fingers and baked beans and stuff. And Graham and I, we had to finish the dolphin trip. We couldn't just cut it short, and I knew he was safe, so we did the dolphin trip. We had to sail back, and my goodness, boats are slow, you know, when you want to get going in a situation like that, and they're slow-moving vehicles. We got all the passengers off, and we shot off like rockets. First went straight round to her apartment and checked he was all right, no smoke inhalation or anything like that. And then we came back to the house and everything was absolutely fine. There's actually a big thing between us and the back field, thank goodness, and that kind of shielded us. And our old neighbour who died of COVID a couple of years ago, he was a fantastic old boy. He was about 90, and he climbed down on a 50-foot ladder to get to the back field so he could like damp the field so it wouldn't restart. It was a right game old boy, because it's like a fortress. It's a bloody high wall there. So for me as a mother, that was a horrifying experience, and we couldn't just, I mean, my boss joked when I told him, and he said, I'm amazed that Graham didn't beach the boat right by your house and leave all the passengers on it and you both leap off. And also the husband of this lady who rescued Benji, he said the same. He said, I can't believe he didn't beach a Goldfin, the dolphin boat. And we both said, well, we wouldn't, you know, Tim would be closed down, he would have lost his business, we wouldn't be that irresponsible. We knew everything was under control. If, you know, there was no lady knocking the door and I'm on the phone to Ben home alone, you know, I would have done some things different. I might have said to him, get out of the house right now, come to the beach and wave at me so I can see you with the binoculars. But you've got to, how Meghan can say that, firstly to make up a story like that, and that's my opinion, I personally think she's made a story up like that. How can you? That really has made me angry. That, you know, is there no level she will not stoop to? I mean, that really is stooping. So I just thought I'd tell you that story, because it made me see red when I heard her saying that. I hadn't actually heard that bit of the podcast until Meghan Kelly played it on her, because I subscribe to her, and I just heard that, and I can tell when someone's not telling the truth, you know, in her voice. Oh, and the way she puts the emphasis on the word my baby, you know, it just makes me want to throw up. Well, that's my opinion, and I don't like her. Further than that, no other updates so far today. I am doing my Mrs. Mop bit. I'm my cleaning lady today again. So have a fabulous day. Tell me your thoughts and opinions about the fire. I don't actually often talk about Markle, but it's every time she opens her mouth, she astonishes me more than the last time she opened her mouth. Anyway, thoughts, people, please.